Average at Best Cornhole here. If you're familiar with competitive cornhole, I'm sure you heard of Cornhole Scenario. They were huge when this sport really broke out, and they managed to stick around. Now, I was a little familiar with their bags. You know, I threw a couple different series from time to time, but I really didn't know them until I got my hands on these two series, and this is a take on hybrid materials for them. We have their brand new Sabertooth and then the Leopard series. I'm going to get right into the materials. The Sabertooth here, it does have a hybrid material. It's the popular one that you'd find on the Guardian, the Dart, or the Wolverine. Leopard, on the other hand, this does have the R carpet on it, or R hybrid. You'd find this on the Viper R, Goated Bambino, and a long list of other bags. Now, they do both share the same fast side, and that's the common Viper Pro Sniper fast side that we're all used to. Because of those materials, Cornhole Scenario rated the Sabertooth speeds as a 5 on the slow side with an 8 to 9 on the fast side, and the Leopard with a 6 to 7 on the slow side with that 8 to 9 on the fast side. I don't necessarily agree with that 6 to 7 on the slow side. We're all familiar with that material, and it does play a little bit faster than what the Sabertooth slow side does, but 6 to 7 is kind of even a stretch for brand new, and it usually settles in about a 5.5. Both of these series have that standard or medium template to them. I will say that the Sabertooth, they are a little bit thinner, so throwing side to side with the Leopards, they feel like a touch bit larger, but not really. Again, they're just going to be like that standard medium template. As far as fullness, like I said, the Sabertooth, it is a little bit thinner than what the Leopard is. The Leopard, it's borderline right there on that medium fullness that we're all used to. It's just the Sabertooth is just a touch thinner than that. There is some differences in the fill and flop. The Leopard here, I mean, it's primarily all flat fill. And the weight is, you know, like right at that normal mark, which is that 450 grams that we usually do here. And since I said, you know, it is about that medium fullness, it does not get overly floppy. It's just about right in the sweet spot. Sabertooth, on the other hand, it has a mixed fill. The website actually states that, and you could fill the round beads in there, so I agree with the mixed fill. I don't know what the mix ratio is. And I did say it's a little bit thinner. It's not that much. They also are not overly floppy. The weight on these, though, is actually a little bit less than that standard 450 grams. So this bag does come in with the weight, you know, a little bit lower than what you're going to be used to. I think what helps, though, is that mixed fill with those beads in there. It gives the bag some fullness. Otherwise, I'd imagine it'd be like really thin and floppy. I do want to touch on bagmanship because Cornhole Scenario was really well known for their bagmanship and the quality of their bags. And then you heard rumors that they were outsourcing some of their work, but now you're hearing rumors that it's all back in-house. And I could say these two series, being brand new for the 2025 season, I mean, they feel great. They look great. You can just tell there's quality to these bags. I'm going to get into the slide up, which I feel is probably the most important part of these videos. Just because, you know, I'm going to explain how these bags differ from other bags with common materials and, you know, how they play and what would make you decide if you want to purchase a set of these. Before I do that, please, if you're liking the content, like this video, subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help me out in the long run. I'm going to touch on a highlight and a low light of each series, and I want to start with the Leopard, and the highlight of it is how freaking forgiving these bags are. With that flat fill, and like I keep saying, you know, they just feel really good in your hand, and that builds your confidence. You're going to throw straight, but then the flat fill, even if you aren't throwing straight, it's going to be a very forgiving bag for you. Unfortunately, though, because of that, the low light is I could really not get these to move that much as far as like cuts and whatnot. And there was times that I threw them that I was trying to throw a cut that I was expecting it to cut more, and it just wouldn't do that. So you got to know what you're throwing, and you got to play the bag that way. Highlight of the Sabertooth, honestly, is just how drippy it is. I think it has the right amount of looseness, the right amount of fill, and with that fill being mixed in those round beads, this bag is super drippy. And it's also, you are able to cut shots and manipulate the bag to get you closer to that hole to experience that drip. Unfortunately, the low light of it is they weren't able to collect very well, and I mean, it just could have been me. I'm not saying it can't be done, and I'm not saying I didn't have collects. Like I just stated, The forgiveness on the Leopard is phenomenal. You take the flat fill, the hybrid material, and the confidence you get from the hand feel of the bag, you're just going to throw it straighter, and the bag does slide straight once it gets on the board. There is going to be very minimal kick with it. Sabertooth, it does have forgiveness because it is a hybrid material bag and it is loose enough to give you forgiveness, and it also has forgiveness because it can accidentally catch the hole, so you can be off target, you know, a little bit, but it's also an active bag, so there is the chance that this bag could kick a little bit on you, but I'm sure it's a kick that you're going to be able to play. And as stated, the highlight of the Sabertooth is its whole bodiness. And it's not just because of the drip you get from the pellets, it's also the looseness. You could accidentally grab the hole, but then you can shape shots and actually get your bag going right at the hole too if there's an object on the board that you're trying to get around. The Leopard, I mean, it does have whole bodiness. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Just the nature of that hybrid material is a little bit faster. So you're going to get whole bodiness with that. Like I said, you get the confidence of throwing that straight. So you have the whole bodiness that you know you're going to be throwing straight at the hole. It's just that flat fill, I mean, flat fill can hang up a little bit on you. I've been bragging about the fullness and the good hand fill, but it's not too full that you have to worry about it plugging because of that flat fill. I did not see many of these bags actually, you know, plugging up the hole and blocking others from going in. I just didn't see any great collects with the Sabertooth. I mean, obviously, going straight on at your bag, you're going to collect it with no issue. I think the problem is, you know, you do have a little bit more looseness, and there is some round beads in there that could bounce, and if you're trying to collect corner to corner, it could bunch up on you. It does have the ability to cut a little bit, so you can do a cut collect with that too. Just make sure you square up to the bag. Leopard, I mean, it was really good at collecting. I do think that, you know, medium fullness bags that are all flat fill probably do collect the best. And this was no different. You definitely didn't get a whole lot of bounce offs trying to collect with it. You just couldn't do really extreme cut collects with the bag, but it was full enough that if one of your bags were off the side and you had a few more to throw, you can throw little cuts at it, you know, and bump the corner and try to spin it around into your lane. Playability with the Leopards, and I truly think you run bags with these. You get that confidence, you have that forgiveness. It's going to slide straight with your confidence. You're going to be throwing straight and just go hole for hole with whoever. And it's also a good bag too, that if you are playing against someone that likes a dirty style game and they put a bag up there, the way it collects, you can also push through their bag pretty well. Even if it's a slower bag, I think you do have enough speed with that hybrid material to push through it and put both of your bags in the game. This, to me, I would call a PPR increaser. There is a little bit more of a dirty game that you can play with the Sabertooth, but I also think that it's going to be more of an offensive dirty game, like you are beating your opponent's blockers. Because you can run holes with it also, especially because it's drippy, so you know that all you got to do is just get it close to the hole and it's going to go in, but you have the ability to cut. I've seen the bags rolled, so I know they can do that, and use that bunch up to your advantage. So if there is, you know, like a little lane or whatever, throw right at it, knowing that the bag's going to bunch up some to get through it. Even if you have to throw a cut to get into that lane, you can do that with the Sabertooth. You can also lay blockers with it. You can initiate the dirty style game. I just feel like you can't be as aggressive because it doesn't collect as well. If you do decide to lay some blockers with the Leopard, like to confuse your opponent, if you want to switch it up, maybe throw a third bag blocker or whatever, I'm confident enough that you're going to be able to clean that up pretty easily. And if you decide to throw your first bag as a blocker, I'm confident that you're going to be able to nudge and spin that bag back around into your lane to clean it up at the end. You can find Cornhole Scenario at cornholescenario.com. They also have a Facebook page, which is simply at Cornhole Scenario, and there is a fan group, which is at Team Scenario. Designs for Cornhole Scenario, I mean, their designs are kind of iconic. Everything is cat themed, and I'm sure you've seen some of these designs around. They seem to, you know, rotate through some of their popular designs with different colorways to them. And availability, their website is pretty stocked. I know they used to have issues, but it seems like all of their designs or most of their bags are up on the website. Just be patient if you do make a purchase. It actually states on the website that shipping is max 2 weeks, and it could take up to that time. And prices do kind of vary, buy the bag and actually design too. Now, I know one of the reasons that I stayed away from Cornhole Scenario for a while was their prices, but they've actually came down quite a bit. And I think probably the average on their website is right around $109 a set. But sometimes limited designs or certain designs are a little bit less. And I know these Leopards I got for like $103. And then when the Sabertooth did release, they actually had like package deals where you could get a couple bags for say $200 flat or something. So go on the website, look around, you will see that their prices have come down significantly. I can't say either one of these series really blew me away from other series, but then again, if someone approached me at a blind draw or a switch or something and wanted to throw either one of these bags, I would have no issue at all. They were just easy to throw, and I really think that the quality and the hand feel of them, what you get from these bags, really builds your confidence and it makes you throw better. And like I stated, you know, Leopard's a PPR increaser. I think that Sabertooth is a PPR increaser as well. It's just you're going to be able to do a little bit more with it. I just think that the Leopard is a great bag. Say you're in a slump or something and you're really not throwing straight, or you got too much tilt and it's kicking too much on it. You bust this bag out and it might fix those issues right away. Or if you just only want to run bags, you go with the Leopard and do that with them. If you do want to learn a little bit more shots, the Sabertooth is going to be a better option for that. I just want to end this with, you're going to be average at something, be average at cornhole.